However, I will agree with this cross-eyed, obese, beautiful woman that, look, bodybuilding at its enhanced extremes is extremely unhealthy compared to what, though? Boom! Boom! What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, tigerfitness.com. Man, I saw this video the other day, and I really wanted to go over it because we're not going to make fun of the person who made the video as much as I would like to because, well, what's it going to do? But there is this premise that bodybuilders look unhealthy, that bodybuilding is unhealthy. And it makes me go back to watching Pumping Iron as a young man. And Pumping Iron, you saw Arnold just splashing in the ocean, these guys running and moving and living their best lives. And now bodybuilders are pretty much on the professional IFBB enhanced level. Man, they're not really that functional. They can't really move that well, and they do look kind of unhealthy. But I think that gives a big black eye to bodybuilding in general. Bodybuilding should be looked at as a healthy lifestyle choice, a good way to live your life where you're doing a lot of benefits. So I want to watch this video, and I've actually procured a lot of data, a lot of studies, and we could talk about whether bodybuilding is healthy or not. So before we get going, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to this video, click on the notification bell, and go to tigerfitness.com. Tigerfitness.com, coupon code MAHA, M-A-H-A, MAHA, gets you 10% off the entire site, including this delicious ambrosia planta. Why'd I talk about that? Because it's on my desk. It was sitting right here. I was doing some packaging work. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and let's share this video. We can watch it. It's very interesting.
I'm going to say something really, really controversial. So this is an unpopular opinion about bodybuilders. They look super unhealthy with their weight.
Now, I'm not one to make fun of somebody's looks. Actually, I am. But she looks a bit unhealthy. She's obese. You could tell by her face, fat around her neck. And I don't know if she's looking at me. I'm just saying, like, you know, when you put up this video, you're about to get blasted on. But I want to less talk about the person making the video and actually talk about the message, because I think that is the mature and responsible thing to do here.
They look super unhealthy, you guys. Really, they do.
Bro, her hair even looks unhealthy, but look at my hair. It looks beautiful. I mean, that's like me calling a 5'9" dude short.
You can fight me on that.
Did she just challenge us all to a fight?
They look super unhealthy. They are super thin.
Super thin. I think she's actually talking about natural bodybuilders. And I can't wait to go over the data on that. The data is fascinating, guys.
And they probably don't drink any water before they do their bodybuilding shows.
Now, just real quick, no. Actually, that's not a thing. Natural bodybuilders generally don't drop water. It's just your water, and I've said this for years, your water is stored in your subcutaneous. So when someone says they're holding water, they're just fat usually. If you are lean, if you are in competition shape, you're not holding water. There's really nowhere for it to go. There's nowhere extracellularly. There's nowhere to hold your water. There's just nowhere in the sub-Q because you have very little sub-Q fat. So they're drinking water. They're just expelling it really fast.
Which can be really dangerous. So really if you're a bodybuilder, stop doing it right now. You're literally killing yourself.
Stop doing it right now. Stop. What? Okay. So I think she's talking about contest prep bodybuilders, right? And yeah, I've made the argument and I've gotten blasted on for saying that there's no such thing as healthy competitive bodybuilding. So the day of the show, I don't care if you're natty or not, like you're at some degree of being unhealthy. Now, is being on gobs and gobs and gobs of steroids bad for you, worse for you than being natural? Yeah. Is being on a supplemental TRT dose prescribed because you're aging better than having super low testosterone? My argument is yes, and the data backs me up. that if your testosterone is low, you're at higher risk of cardiovascular events and negative health issues in your life. Your quality of life is going to suck. But if you're dieting down into those single-digit body fat levels that competitive bodybuilders do, then yeah, you're going to also have issues with your hormones. But again, natural bodybuilders are there, and they're like, oh, they're only there for the day. No, natural bodybuilding, it's a slow grind. They're there probably 6 to 8 weeks of that unhealthy zone, but they're still healthier than being obese. I'll make that argument all day long. So let's get into the data. So I'm going to pull up some notes. So all of this depends, right? Is bodybuilding healthy? Are you talking about natural bodybuilders, drug-free bodybuilders, AKA, or those who use PEDs? And I'm not talking about TRT. I'm not talking about getting your test levels up to 900 to 1100 like I do. So yes, bodybuilding on a super enhanced level is not healthy. So natural bodybuilders, right? Even competitive, because most of the year they're not competing. They're just living their best lives. Let's talk about their cardiovascular health. So here we're going to go to the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research in 2011. Found that natural bodybuilders typically have better cardiovascular health indicators, lower resting heart rate, better lipid profiles compared to sedentary individuals. Go further, strength training is a cornerstone of bodybuilding that's also associated with reduced risk of cardiovascular disease due to improved blood pressure and glucose utilization. You have to realize that bodybuilders, they literally, building muscle is a way to increase something called your GLUT4. Now, your GLUT4 is your body. It's basically something that basically takes carbohydrate where it needs to go. Is that am I saying that wrong? But let's say that in non-scientific terms, right? So by having increased GLUT4 uptake, muscle's ability to utilize glycogen, avoiding metabolic syndrome or syndrome X or pre-diabetes, those are all great things. So we can agree based on the data that cardiovascularly, natural bodybuilders are healthier than sedentary individuals or even this cross-eyed obese woman. Next would be muscle mass and longevity. So a 2014 study in the American Journal of Medicine found that higher muscle mass is correlated with lower mortality in older adults. So the simple practice of natural bodybuilding, lifting weight, progressive overload, loading your muscles, loading your joints, it has this beneficial effect of anti-aging. Anti-aging in the sense that you're not going to get some of the age-related sarcopenic or muscle loss, sarcopenia, diseases that afflict normal non-training individuals. So those are some data on natural bodybuilders. Now, here's where she might get a little bit right. So professional bodybuilders who are enhanced, or even let's say somebody who competes on a super enhanced level, yes, it is linked to cardiovascular issues. A 2017 study in Circulation showed that long-term anabolic steroid use significantly increased the risk of left ventricle dysfunction that can lead to heart failure. Kidney and liver health. A study published in Endocrine Reviews in 2015 highlights that prolonged steroid use may cause kidney and liver damage. Elevated creatinine levels, which it's also something that can happen if you're natty, right? Because your body is basically excreting all this creatinine, tons of muscle. That can happen. It's a natural byproduct of it, right? So it can increase this creatinine levels, and that can be a sign of chronic kidney strain. Hormonal imbalances. Another one in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism in 2016 found that anabolic steroid use can lead to hypogonadism after discontinuations, which can cause reproductive metabolic health issues. So if you go on a huge cycle, come off, your body might have trouble getting back into that. Now, normally your body will bounce back, but a ton of people have to go on TRT and such. But then again, Ronnie Coleman has 8 kids. So, again, it just depends on the individual. Some individuals they're fine. Like they're good. Yeah, they got great genetics for it, right? So mortality rates are huge. So a journal in International Journal of Sports Medicine in 2014 found that competitive bodybuilders who use PEDs had higher mortality rates compared to the general population, primarily due to cardiovascular issues. So it comes down to, if you're on steroids, mitigating that cardiovascular risk. When it comes to mental health, natural bodybuilders, they have improved self-esteem. They look good. They have abs. Why wouldn't they have better self-esteem, right? They've earned that better self-esteem. While enhanced bodybuilders may have mood swings. There are, if you have ups and downs in your hormones, and natural bodybuilders can get this pre-contest as well if their testosterone levels plummet, because that also affects serotonin, melatonin, all the onins, right? It's going to mess you up a little bit. So, you know, they may have that, and they also may have it when they come off losing size. Natural bodybuilders pretty much look the same year round, whereas enhanced bodybuilders, they go up, they go down. So naturally, when they start losing muscle, they might have more of a predisposition, having some mental issues because they've lost size. And that's why it gets dangerous, because that's why a lot of guys, I believe, don't come off at all. So another thing is extreme dieting. Now, bodybuilders, enhanced bodybuilders, they essentially bulk to an obscene level, 300 plus pounds, a lot of the time, not everybody, and then they cut down. So it's this crazy binge and purge, just yo-yo diet situation, which is crazy. So there was actually a study on this, International Society of Sport Nutrition, Jose Antonio's organization in 2020, and it showed that prolonged caloric restriction can disrupt thyroid and hormonal balance. So the thing is, that would affect natural bodybuilders probably more, right? Because they're not exogenously mitigating that. But again, if you get reliant on thyroid hormones and all this, like, that's not good. Can't be good. So natural bodybuilding, it actually promotes cardiovascular fitness, bone density, muscle mass, and that helps you live longer, period. You're going to live a better, more productive, healthy life. When I say natural bodybuilders, that's everybody who lifts weights, who isn't on steroids. Or I'm going to even lump in safely administered, doctor-prescribed TRT, where you're monitoring your levels, you're staying within that normal to high normal range. I'm going to put them in there. But enhanced bodybuilding, it comes with significant health risks due to PED use, cardiovascular strain, kidney and liver damage and strain, increased mortality rates based on the data. So overall, if you're on a lot of drugs, you're more likely to die than people who aren't on a lot of drugs. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to live forever if you're natural. That doesn't mean you're going to die at 20 years old if you're enhanced. But when looking at things, for example, sauna, right? Like, I love the sauna. And if you look at the studies from the Finnish countries, right, the Scandinavian countries on Finnish sauna, they actually tend to have a 40% decrease in mortality. So they are at any time, they're 40% less likely to die at any given time for any given illness. Does that mean I'm going to live 40% longer than I would have if I didn't do it? Maybe. But what it does mean is it's mitigating a lot of the cardiovascular and other issues that contributes to one's death. You know, you look at things like, oh man, if you do this, you have a 20% less chance of morbidity. You have this, that. That's not a get out of jail free card, right? That's not a sure thing. But that means when you take a big group of people, like this Finnish study was big, thousands of dudes, right? And you take the people who did sauna, I believe it was 5 to 20 minutes, about 4 times a week. And you take people who didn't do it, these guys were 40% less likely to die. Does that make sense to y'all? So when I look at these studies, when I look at this research, when I look at everything going on, yeah, okay, this woman has a point that bodybuilding is not healthy at its extreme. However, what is the alternative, right? One is don't compete. I think Stan Efferding said, if you want to be healthy, the answer is simple, don't compete. I don't believe there's any way to compete at a high level, natural or enhanced, and still be healthy. You can be healthier than your sedentary obese counterpart, but does that make you optimal? Does that make you healthy? So here's the deal. Lift weights, do cardio, don't be fat, don't take a ton of steroids. If you do take steroids, make sure that it's a controlled clinical setting administered by a doctor for supplemental testosterone because your body doesn't produce enough for whatever reason, and you're going to be less likely to die. Now, doesn't mean you're not getting hit by a bus tomorrow. Doesn't mean you're immortal. Doesn't mean you're going to live forever. But there's other things that also play a role, right? Do you drink alcohol? Okay, I see Mike Israetel saying that it's okay to drink every day. No, I disagree. I disagree. You're putting a toxin in your body. That's going to have a detrimental effect long term. Is it worth it? Like, here's the trade-off. A lot of people like drinking because it makes them feel good. It makes them more social. Maybe they like the taste of gin and tonic. I don't know. But you can't convince me that any alcohol is good for you. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Now, alcohol is not good for you, but people drink. So people do steroids because they want to look better. They want to get bigger. And as long as they understand that there is a health risk, there is going to be a negative consequence, perhaps, maybe not. You're the control group and you're the experiment. There's no way to fucking know. But we know based on these big studies like the one done in ISSN, we know that it's going to be detrimental if you take a large group of people and you take users versus non-users. So it's up to you to decide what's healthy and what's not. So my question for this cross-eyed obese woman, and I say that with the utmost respect and affection, is what are you doing to be healthy? You're not controlling your weight. You're fat. You have a double chin. This energy drink, by the way, you can buy these at tigerfitness.com. It's going to take years off my life too, but I like them. That's the thing. We don't live perfect lives. All we could do is the trade-off. Now, natural bodybuilding, when you don't compete, I will argue, is one of the healthiest things you can do for yourself. You're going to decrease your risk of osteoporosis and other bone diseases, going to reduce your risk of falling and breaking something when you get older. I like doing straight leg Romanian deadlifts. Love them. My theory is if I'm 80 years old and I could do a 5 reps with 100 pounds of straight leg Romanian deadlifts, the balance, again, when you fall down and break a hip and you're elderly, it's a death sentence. It just is. So if I'm able to do that, and I'm going to keep doing it every week, until the day I die. And hopefully by doing that, I'm mitigating that risk of falling and breaking my shit. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Look, life is a trade-off. A lot of things are fun, like my brother went bungee jumping once, right? Like you have a tether around your leg and you're jumping off a bridge and then you're... It was fun. His adrenaline went up. He has a story to tell. He was taking an unnecessary risk, but he weighed it out in his little pea brain, my brother, and he's like, it's worth it because I'm going to bungee jump. Dude, people from my Rotary Club just went fucking parachuting, whatever. They jumped out of fucking planes. I was like, y'all can jump out of planes. I ain't jumping out of a fucking plane. Hell no. My mom was actually a paratrooper, believe it or not, in the Israeli military. My people have done enough jumping out of fucking planes, right? Same reason Jews don't go to camps. Last time we were invited to a camp in Germany, it didn't go well for us. Not going to camps, not jumping out of planes. My wife's grandfather jumped out of a plane in World War II and his parachute didn't open. Motherfucker just hit the ground. Somehow he lived. Again, everything has risk, y'all. Look, man, bodybuilding is beautiful. Bodybuilding's great. Being the best you can is great. But I implore you guys to lift weights 3 to 4 days a week. I implore you guys to do cardio every fucking day. Do something. Go on a walk, go on a bike ride, walk around the block. I don't fucking care. Do some cardio. Eat as healthy as possible. Micronutrient dense foods. Beef is the most nutrient dense non-organ meat you could find. Beef, I eat so much. We just bought an entire half cow, split it with our neighbor. Bro, my wife is cooking up beef left and right. I always got ground beef and burgers on tap. We got ribeyes defrosting right now. Oh, it's heaven. But I also augment that with sweet potatoes, ton of vegetables, ton of fruits. I'm eating a lot of bananas. I love bananas. You know, you gotta live your life mitigating risk and being the best you ever, man. I love this shit, man. I love the bodybuilding lifestyle. I watch what I eat. And also, if you're in a training program, you're more likely to be more cognizant of your diet and of your weight. Because remember, I say this on this channel all the time. The number one comorbidity is obesity, period. Anything that could keep you from being not fat. However, I will agree with this cross-eyed, obese, beautiful woman that, look, bodybuilding at its enhanced extremes is extremely unhealthy compared to what, though? Compared to being obese, we can argue that all day long. It's pick your poison. But an optimal lifestyle is being a natural bodybuilder that is anyone who lifts weights. Look, man, I worked at Weider Publications. I remember Joe Weider. He made an argument that everybody who does anything to improve their body is a bodybuilder. Why does it always have to be about competing? It isn't. Competing is the extremes, like riding your skateboard down the street to get from place to place burns calories, generally safe. But going to a skate park and doing a triple ollie in the air and not breaking your shit, probably not safe. Remember the X Games? Those were awesome. Motherfuckers riding a skateboard downhill at 100 miles an hour, whatever the fuck they were going. Yeah, motherfuckers were dying. Again, extremes are always unhealthy. Bodybuilding's great. It's a great lifestyle. And look, you start your day, you go to the gym, you wake up, you have your pre-workout shake, you fucking eat an outright bar, and you're like, I'm gonna go crush it. You go to the gym, and for like 45 to 60 minutes, you have that time, and your brain, like when you lift weights, your brain works better. This is actually scientifically proven. Your brain works better. You have more energy. You're mitigating a lot of things that'll kill you. Bodybuilding is not unhealthy. Extreme sports are unhealthy. But you tell me, what do you think? Comment down below. Comment down below. I'll remind you once again to like this video, subscribe to this channel, click on that notification bell. Let me know what you think. I want to know. And again, I'll reiterate this fact. If you do anything for this channel, I'm not asking for super chats. I'm not asking you for you to do it. I'm just asking you, if you do partake in nutritional supplement usage, to go to tigerfitness.com. If you're like, Mark, I think your brands suck, I'm like, I'm not going to argue with you. We carry hundreds of brands and they're awesome. Just go and support us, man. You want your energy drinks, you want your protein bars, your powders, your creatines. We got you. All I'm asking you, support us. I'm even going to give you 10% off with coupon code MAHA. That's MAHA. Get you 10% off everything on the site. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm going to end this and we're going to have an ad because it's awkward to say goodbye and not have an ad. And if you like this ad, this product is also available at tigerfitness.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm Marc Lobliner. That's not a game. Let's talk about pre-workouts. See, a lot of them just get you spiked and then you crash. The crash is crazy. When I take a pre-workout, I don't want my heart beating out of my chest. I can't do a set to failure with that. No, I want something that gets me focused. I want my mind to just go, I'm going to get all the weight. I want my body to feel like I can go crush it, make the gains of my life. That's why the pre-workout I use is Ambrosia Kinetic. Ambrosia Kinetic is the greatest mushroom-enhanced mind and body performance booster pre-workout ever created. Go to tigerfitness.com now. That's tigerfitness.com. Coupon code MAHA, M-A-H-A, MAHA. MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. And you get 10% off, not just Kinetic, but the entire site. Go to tigerfitness.com now, save and make the gains you've been wanting.